All right, here we go. Welcome to the Women's Summit, Marie Larsen. Okay,
Woo!
I feel like we should have a band or something going. I'm so excited that you can join us for the Women's Summit.
I'm so excited.
As you know, it's all about customers and what we do in our businesses and in our lives and how it impacts customers. So if you would just tell us a little bit about what you do and why you got started doing that, and then I'll ask you a little bit more about how that impacts how you deal with customers in your business and how you recommend that your customers deal with customers in their business.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Marie Larsen. As stated, I am a college kid, and I decided one day that I was tired of A, not having my voice heard, and B, being paid $8 an hour, working at yogurt shops and stuff like that. And decided that just probably wasn't the thing I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and knew that there had to be a better way. And so I started getting into the podcasting world. I come from a very business-oriented family, and they encouraged me to get into business. And I had a really, really cool realization that that this could be an option for me to really improve my life and to improve the lives of those around me. Now, as many of you have experienced in different times in your life, it's really hard to attain a voice that people can hear, right? And that they are that you can have an impact in other people's lives. So podcasting is a huge way to go about and do that. And it was a really, really big blessing for me to go through and figure that out. So something that we do is we go through and take your voice and be able to broadcast it to as many different platforms as possible, right? Everything from, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google, there's so many, iTunes, right? And there's so many out there. And the reason that you do that is that you want to be able to find your audience, right? And be able so that your audience has it really, really easy to find you. Every audience has their preference to use Facebook over Instagram or to use Twitter over LinkedIn or whatever it is. And so you being able to provide your voice to as many different platforms will be nothing but a benefit, right? And it will help people go through and actually know who you are, and that they will be able to find you very, very easily on their platform of preference.
I recently discovered that. I've been doing podcasting since about February, and like crickets. No one would listen to anything I did. And then all of a sudden, about a month ago, I realized that LinkedIn is where my people are. And so I'll put a Facebook Live out and I will get like 2 views. And then I'll go to LinkedIn and there'll be 300 to 700 or something. So I'm like, it's just a matter of exactly what you said, finding where your audience is. So that's amazing.
Exactly. That right there was probably one of the biggest key understandings for me as I went through and started helping my clients know where their audience actually was. So many of them would say, "Oh, Marie, I've been told to dump a ton of money into Facebook ads and everything like that," when really their audience is lying in some random place, right, where it's not Facebook at all, and they've been wasting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads where their audience isn't even there, right, or whatever it is, and they've just been wasting all, tons and tons of money in places where it's not benefiting them. So being able to figure out exactly where your audience is a huge benefit.
So when you start out with a new customer, like let's talk about you finding your customers and people that you work with. Yeah, I know you podcast, you have an awesome podcast, but is that your go-to strategy for bringing people to you?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I know that getting my voice out there is really crucial, right? And so I get into all of the Facebook groups and groups in general that include digital marketers, where people already understand that they need podcasting. I don't like going through and trying to explain to people that they need it. I want the people that already understand that it is a need within their company, right? And so I go into Facebook groups and stuff like that, and I get my voice out there, right? I post. I make sure that people know who I am. I provide value. I do free little consultations here and there. Well, people will jump on with me for 15 minutes. I'll show them how to do X, Y, and Z or whatever. And then they start, referring my name out there as well. So something that I tell my audience quite frequently is that if you are quiet in your industry, then, if you just whisper in your industry, no one's going to find you, right? But if you yell and scream into your industry by posting everywhere, by talking, by getting your face out there, then people will start referring you for you. People will start, getting your voice out there for you and everything, which is a huge benefit, right? Where people just know you as the podcasting kid, or will know you as, X, Y, or Z, that they know you as that thing because you've done the hard work already by getting your voice out there, and then other people get your voice out there for you as well. So for me to get clients and to go about making sure that we're a good fit and everything, I make sure to get into the best digital marketing groups. I get into coaching groups because a lot of the coaching students that are in need of my services or something, excuse me, and I will go ahead and jump into all the groups, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that I can go through and find as many people as possible that we are already, that my audience lies within that industry already, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. So I'm going to ask a personal question. How much time do you personally spend a day doing that, getting your voice out? Or do you have a team of people that help you do that?
Yeah, so I've got my assistant and a few other people who help me. But when I was starting out, I was consumed. I was consumed by it. And it was really, really hard for me, actually. I never wanted to be that kid who was posting all the time. I never wanted to be like that Instagram girl. I never wanted any of that. And it wasn't until I had one of my mentors tell me, and he just kept saying, Marie, you've got to just publish. You've got to publish like crazy. And it wasn't until I committed and started doing it that I started seeing results. And I never wanted to be that girl that was taking pictures and putting it on Instagram. I never wanted to be that girl who was posting on Facebook every single day. I never wanted to be that person, but that right there has provided so many benefits and value for me, so that I can be on these summits, so that I can, I'm speaking all over the country at this point. And it's really, really nice that just because I did one simple little thing by not making it about me and not caring what grandma thought about me, or my great aunt Betsy or whoever, that I didn't care what people thought about me, that I just went ahead and did it. It became a benefit and I reaped the rewards because of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to get your voice out there because we don't think that anybody wants to hear what we have to say. But I'm learning that there's people out there that need to hear what you have to say. Each one of us has a message for somebody else, and they need to hear it. And if we don't speak up, they'll never hear it. No one will ever know.
Absolutely. And I will also add that people want to consume content. We spend so much time on social medias, on Facebook, on Instagram. We spend so much time on those things already that there are people who, spend hours and hours and hours at a time on Facebook, on Instagram, and everything. And if I can be that voice that people listen to, then they'll come to me and they'll put their dollars with me. But if you decide to keep your voice back, then they'll go find another person to consume content and give their dollars to. So it's one of those things that you just have to decide, am I willing to get loud out there so people will give me their dollars? If not, then they will go find someone else to do so.
And so when you say get loud, what do you mean? Like people should get loud and get their voice out there. How would you define that? Like, say I'm a new person and I'm like, I've never done anything, podcasting, Facebook Lives. What would you tell me to do or what does that mean if I say get loud?
Yep. I would say, first off, don't get overwhelmed by getting loud, right? When I say get loud, it usually means, that you're getting into all of those social media platforms, that you're getting into every single SEO platform that you can, that you are literally just pushing out as much as you can, like crazy. And you just continue to repurpose your content. Now, for people who are just starting out, I would say, yes, that should be a goal eventually. But to get started, pick one platform and get really, really good at it, right? Whether it's blogging or podcasting or video or whatever it is, choose your one thing and get really, really good at it. And then you can find ways to repurpose that one thing. eventually with time, you'll be able to figure out, okay, if I do video, then I can rip it off and make it an audio. And then I can take that audio and I can get a transcription of it and take that transcription and make a blog. And after I take that blog, I can make Facebook quote cards, Instagram quote cards, and you can go through and see all of the different ways that you can create content from your one thing. Now, again, choose your one thing and get good at it. If you love speaking, then go through and do podcasting. But if you like video, then do video. And if you're like, I would much rather not get my voice out like that, but I would rather blog, then blog, right? Whatever it is, choose your one thing and get really, really good at it. And after you've mastered it, go on to the next thing. For so many people, they hear that they need to get loud, but they don't go through and establish dominance in one place and then do a mediocre job in all of them, right? And so making sure that you are dominating in one aspect of something for a while will create comfort. You'll find your voice just in itself. You're not going to sound perfect if you do podcasting. You're not going to sound perfect if you do video. For the first, you're not going to feel comfortable with it probably for the first 40 to 50 episodes at least, right? And going through and being comfortable talking into a microphone, you're not going to feel comfortable with that at first. But eventually, you'll find your voice and how you can be expressive and captivating. No one likes to listen to boring people. So making sure that you're getting loud and getting really good at storytelling and enunciating and everything, you eventually will get really, really good at that. But don't expect and put too high of expectations of having everything perfect once you get started.
Excellent advice. Excellent. Because, I keep practicing, but I'm like way far from perfect. And I've done a lot of practicing too. It's amazing.
I will also add in there, be consistent with your audience. The biggest mistake that people do is that they'll get 20 episodes into their podcast and decide that they need to take a break for a month or two, right? And decide that they don't need to do it for a little bit. I think of it as a relationship, right? Your relationship with your audience grows because they trust that you're going to be providing content and value for them. They trust that you're going to be there. If you tell them that you're going to publish Tuesdays and Thursdays, heck, you better be publishing Tuesdays and Thursdays at the same time. If you don't do it, then they feel like you kind of broke up with them, right? And that because of that, they don't want to come back and they don't want to keep listening. It'd be like one day if all of a sudden Russell Brunson, who is one of my biggest mentors, if he all of a sudden decided that he didn't want to do Instagram for, 4 or 5 days, I would think that something's wrong. I would be legitimately worried. And I'm not sure if I would commit to buy some of his products or services because I would feel like he kind of broke up with me as a customer. And so going through and being consistent. If you want to choose Instagram as your platform, then do it. Do stories every single day. Do whatever, but so that people can know what you're up to and stuff like that. People consume that content, although you may think it's dumb at first. I did too, guilty. But go through and actually take the time to be consistent. It is a commitment when you decide to podcast. It is a commitment when you decide to YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It's a commitment that you're committing to so that you can provide as much value for people and that they can trust you as someone to buy from.
Awesome. Is there a particular type of content? Is it stories or is it tips have you found a particular type of content performs better than others, or does it depend on the audience and the market and on who you are, all those variables?
I would say it definitely depends on the audience. I have some real estate people and cryptocurrency and health and fitness industries that I work with, and those people are fantastic, but the health and fitness industry does really, really well with Instagram, right? Because all you have to do is double tap and you're done. And real estate does really well in Facebook, and cryptocurrency does better in LinkedIn, right? And whatever it is, it's one of those things that you just kind of start figuring out, okay, the audience really lies in a certain realm, right? Mm-hmm. And I would always think that actually I'm going to blow up this person on Instagram, or I'm going to blow up this person on Facebook, or whatever it is. But the audience isn't lying there, and it just doesn't work as well. So I can't tell you this is the one for you. You'll just have to start discovering what things work best for you guys. I have seen for sure that a million different people do well in podcasting, for sure, because you can find your voice. I'm a huge fan of podcasting because you put your headphones in and you can go on a run, you can wash the dishes, you can do whatever. Video is a little bit harder, in my opinion, these days because it requires everyone's full 100% attention. You sit there and you have to stop and watch exactly, and your attention is put on it. Whereas I think it was Grant Cardone that said audio is the future of marketing. And I believe that just because people don't consume content by sitting down, in my opinion, by sitting down and reading, right? They go about it in a different way, right? And so they go about listening to content to consume. I listen to more audiobooks than ever. I don't really sit down and read as much anymore, just because it's easier and faster to consume content and get the message across in that way. So it honestly depends on the audience and where you're wanting to find it, or where people find their content most. And I would just say research it out. Get on Facebook groups, ask around, talk a lot. Don't get into Facebook ads until you are absolutely certain that that's where your audience is lying. Don't waste your money on that yet. I will tell you, I have yet to pay for one Facebook ad, and I've never lacked in lead generation at this point because I've gone through and I've done my research and gotten in groups. I've gotten my face out there, and because of it, I haven't wasted a single dollar in customer acquisition by going through and doing Facebook ads or anything like that.
That is extremely powerful. I hope everybody caught that. That is amazing. So, any final parting words of advice or wisdom that you would give these amazing ladies, depending, no matter where they are in their business? Is there something that you've learned?
Yeah.
How long have you even been in business? I mean, I think you're the youngest person we've got on the summit.
I have been doing podcasting for about a year and a half, almost 2 years at this point.
Okay.
And whether it's been my own or it's been helping people, I've been doing it for about that long. And I will tell you guys, the most impactful thing is getting really good at storytelling. Now, I kind of mentioned that before, but the reason why I say that is that that's where the value is, and that's where customers really get captivated, right? If you think of even just today, or for example, going through and watching a TV show or a movie, right? Like Superman, right? If we're watching Superman, I am getting educationally entertained, right? As I go through, I'm being educated on the life of Clark Kent, right? And going through and understanding his life and the difficulties he has and everything like that, and how he just likes the girl, but the girl doesn't know that he's actually Superman, and all the struggle, right? And so, like, you get educated on his life, but then all of a sudden you get entertained as he's beating up the bad guy and punching them through a wall, right? And because of educational entertainment these days, it's gotten to a point where people don't, no one just watches, or no one just reads books anymore. There has to be some sort of entertainment aspect, right? I don't know anyone really who sits around and just reads ledgers for fun, right? Like, they go through and there's got to be lots of fun. There's got to be some entertainment in a lot of our society these days. And so getting really, really good at storytelling, right? Being expressive, talking, and being open. I love it. And I think I've shared this example with you before, Sharon, but if you go to Walmart or something, you can get a flag, an American flag, for about $50 US. And my family has an American flag that flew on top of the White House. Now, that flag is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? Now, if you want to take it one step further, there's a flag that is flying on the moon, right? An American flag that's flying on the moon. That flag there is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Easy. And because of the only thing that changed, did the product change at all? No. The only thing that changed was the story, right? The story of going to the store, the story of having it on the White House, and the story of it being on the moon. That is the only thing that changed. The product did not change at all, but the story is what changed. And because of the story, if you get really, really good at storytelling, the value that you're providing for your customers, for your clients, it increases, right? The value of what you're providing increases, and that helps attain new customers. That helps keep current customers, whatever it is. But get really good at storytelling. Now, ways that I've gone about improving my storytelling has been by I will stand in front of the mirror when I'm putting mascara on for the day, and I will tell myself a story, right? And it sounds so funny. It sounds like I'm a crazy person, but I know that it's improving. I'm trying to improve for my audience. Or I will be sitting in the car driving to the store and hit record on my phone and record myself telling the story of the time that, you know, my brother shot me with airsoft guns and how that improved my life in X, Y, and Z way, right? Or whatever it is, right? And so going through and having a clear picture that you can depict for your audience will increase customer acquisition and provide extra value and increase the value of your products or services or whatever you're providing for people. So that right there was probably one of the biggest aha moments that I achieved, and that I understood as soon as I get better at storytelling and get better at getting my voice out there. If I have a combination of those two, then people have no reason not to buy from me. Like those two things right there, if I have that put together, I have no reason why people should not buy from me. If my offer is good, my stories are good, and that I'm getting so loud where people just can't ignore me, then heck, why would people go to anyone else for podcasting? Why would anyone else go for, to something else for your product or your service that is there because you are the option rather than an option in your industry at that point?
That is fabulous. I love the practice storytelling in the mirror. I wouldn't even have thought of that. It's when I do my affirmations, but practicing storytelling would probably be a lot more valuable. That is fabulous.
It's awesome.
So, my dear, how can people get in touch with you and get your wisdom?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the two best spots for me is to go to my Facebook group, which is Profitable Podcasting Strategies for Entrepreneurs, kind of a mouthful. And then the other one is probably reach out to me via my Instagram handle, which is @_Marie.Larsen_.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm so excited, guys. I hope that you understand the importance of getting your voice out there. It seriously is one of those things that if you get loud out there, people can't ignore you. So anyway, it's been such a joy to be on here and to share this with you guys.
Thank you so much. You were just sharing tons and tons of value with us and tons of gold nuggets. I don't know what you guys call them, value bombs or truth nukes, I think, or something.
Truth nukes.
Truth nukes. We know who says that. But thank you so much, Marie. That is so valuable and so incredible for everybody listening. I hope you all understood the value of what Marie's provided with us and for us for today.
I love it. Thank you so much, Shannon. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, Marie.
See ya.